She's one of those people that the second her head hits the pillow, she's fucking snoring.
So annoying.
So obviously her husband knows this about her. In the middle of the night, she hears her baby son crying. So she wakes up to take care of her child, and her husband is gone. So this is the beginning of her little investigation. So she pretends to fall asleep to see if he goes anywhere. And sure enough, for the next few months, she would notice her husband disappearing into the night. Now, Tina's thinking this fucker is going to go see another woman. Starts spying on the guy. He was not seeing another woman. Turns out this guy goes out at night into the yard where the family trash cans are. He rummages around and fishes out a dirty diaper from their child.
What?
And he stands there, smelling the dirty diaper. And it was always the diapers, never the pee diapers. If it was a pee diaper, he would throw it back into the trash. And she said it wasn't even a sniff. It was a deep breathe in, breathe out. Now, Tina said the real icing on the cake was, one night, he must have gotten a little too close to the diaper, because when he came back to bed and Tina was pretending to be asleep, she could smell something. So she waited till she heard him snoring, and she opened up her eyes, turned around. The guy had a tiny on his nose. Tina was disgusted. So she asks Reddit, is this something that has happened to anyone else before? And Tina said that she knows she has to confront her husband, but she's nervous, and at this point, any advice would be great, because, I mean, shit. People were like, it doesn't matter if it's a kink, it probably is, but the fact that a minor is involved and did not consent to be a part of the kink, and it's your own son? Tina gets back onto Reddit to give us an update on why her husband was nose deep into some poopy diapers, and it's bad. She said that the past few weeks has been really bad for them, really insane. I mean, she's ashamed and upset to admit how things just didn't go as planned. She wanted to confront her husband in like a mature way, right? But basically what ended up happening was she took a picture of him outside with the poopy diaper and then shoved it in his face and was like, what were you doing? Like, what were you doing? She just lost it. One time he came in, and she was clearly not asleep. And instead of being nervous that she had caught on to what he was doing, he just literally goes, oh, hey, sorry, was just downstairs eating some leftovers. So casually able to lie. So Tina started yelling, what the fuck have you been doing all this time? You know, why are you doing this? He's like, you won't understand, there's no point. Like, that's all he kept saying. You won't understand, there's no point in trying to explain it. So she keeps yelling, and at one point she starts sobbing, and she just puts her hand up in desperation and says, is this some sort of thing? And she was like, you can't, like, you gotta tell me that you're lying. You cannot be aroused at her child's, or like anything about her child. Is that what you're saying right now? And then to make matters worse, her husband gets mad at her and screams, see, I told you you would never understand. This is why I didn't tell you, and runs out of the house. So her update was talking about how they're getting a divorce, and Tina was just disgusted. Yeah. She was just traumatized and disgusted. Yeah, but it's just weird. It's about a millionaire doctor who is suing his ex-wife for being a sex worker and hiding it from him during the entirety of their marriage. Some people allege that she was sleeping with some very powerful politicians as well as some sons of former presidents and the likes. It's just the most batshit crazy story, and it all starts with Dr. Hanjo Kim. Now, he's a New York City-based spine surgeon. He's also Korean American. He's apparently one of the best in the city. He's won multiple awards in the national and international arena. Like, the guy really knows his freaking vertebrae. He's single. So anyway, Dr. Kim is at this fashion event, and he runs into probably the most beautiful woman that he has ever seen in the entirety of his life, 27-year-old Regina. The minute that he talks to her, he can tell that she's so eloquent, she's well-spoken, she has amazing posture, she has this ethereal grace about her. And Dr. Kim finds out, I mean, it makes sense. She was the winner of Miss Connecticut in 2011. She had a chemistry degree from the University of Connecticut. Well, she almost had the degree. She had to leave the college to complete in the Miss USA pageant, but she wants to go back, finish her degree, and become a dentist. That's her dream. So the two exchange numbers. They start seeing each other after this little party. And a little bit about Regina. Regina Turner, throughout her pageantry, she talked about how she wanted to become a dentist, to go to underserved, impoverished areas, help treat people. She's just very ambitious. She was quoted with saying, Whenever I decide to do something, I go all in. I truthfully expect to win. I mean, I do well and I do it the right way and I put my heart into anything and I always try my best. They fall in love with each other and Dr. Kim proposes to Regina on November 27th. And their wedding, holy shit, their wedding cost $2.5 million. And after the wedding, you know, Regina's got to feel more comfortable in his place, right? He had a bachelor pad, not good. He needs a wedding pad. He needs a married pad, a wife pad. So Dr. Kim buys a $6.5 million apartment on the Upper East Side in New York City. I mean, literally, this was a picture-perfect couple. They drove Aston Martins. They would wake up in their multi-million-dollar estates. Regina would make breakfast for Dr. Kim before seeing him off to do God's work, fixing spines. So Regina would see him off to do God's work, literally, like saving lives. And in return, you know, Regina was very cute. She was very supportive. She went to all of the events with him. She dressed up. She played the part of the role of the housewife. And in return, Dr. Kim paid for everything and even gave her a monthly allowance to spend at her discretion. And today, he's a world-renowned spine surgeon. He was even awarded the Asian Physician Award in 2020, amongst other huge life achievements. I mean, this guy really is fantastic at what he's doing and really saving lives. But around Christmas of 2020, he turned on his wife's computer and new messages started popping up. It was an explicit message from a man, an unknown man, and it included a vivid description of the details of sexual relationship with Regina. So Dr. Kim is like, what the fork? He starts scrolling through their conversation, and I mean, at this point, he's been happily married for like, 5 years now? He's going through their chat history, and the conversation is not just from this guy's side. So it's not just like a crazy ex-lover that wouldn't give up on Regina and is like constantly texting her like, oh my God, I remember when we used to do this, like we were crazy back then. No, it was both ways. Regina was flirting back. And this kind of connected the dots over the past 5 years. Dr. Kim remembered that Regina would go out of town for work or for friend groups, girls' trips, all the time.
She's cheating.
Yeah, now that he thinks about it, his wife spends a lot more money than he gives her every year. How does she manage to get that money? She said that she was only being supported by him. She wasn't using the inheritance. I mean, this is serious stuff. So Dr. Kim gets an attorney, and I don't know if they employed a PI, but regardless, they start digging. Turns out, Regina was allegedly engaging in high-end work before they were married. She kept doing it while they were married. For the next 5 to 6 years while they were married, allegedly, she made about $1 million in high-end work, which is cheating. No. Some alleged potential clients were a New Jersey real estate executive, a designer from the United Kingdom, other high-profile businessmen, and to make matters worse, Dr. Kim found out that all the way from what Regina was studying in college and her dreams to become a dentist and her developing an app and her professional modeling career, everything was a lie. She never graduated from high school. There was no app. In fact, she was sued twice for back rent in New York City. And honestly, what? So it's speculated that at this fashion event where they met, Regina thought that Dr. Kim was just going to be another client. But then when she realized he was falling in love with her, I guess she played the long game. So Dr. Kim takes all of this information and files for divorce, and that's how it goes viral. The divorce documents were close to 300 pages, and it said that he wanted to annul their marriage because his wife had hidden her secret life as a insert P word for wealthy men. Dr. Kim requested that the court ask Regina for compensation, but she said, I have no money, I depend on my husband to live. So this goes viral, and of course the internet does what the internet does. And they go to Regina's Instagram page where only about 600 people were following her. Well, Donald Trump Jr. was one of her followers.
Okay.
And liked a bunch of her pictures.
So they're good? Separated?
Yeah, they settled it out of court once it started going viral, I believe. So, yeah.
So my boy Kim is single again.
Yeah.
He's back in the market, I'm assuming.
Do you want to go date him?
I mean, yeah.
You do love Aston Martins.
I do.
You do. This is the last story. This one blew my mind just because the way that he talks about the story. This guy literally posted on Reddit, and the title was, I, 40-year-old male, started to cheat on my wife, 38-year-old female, but stopped halfway through. Do I still tell her? He starts off the whole conversation by saying, my wife and I have a great relationship. I can't say I have any real complaints. We've been together for 5 years, married for 2, And until now, I can say that I never wanted to cheat on her. But last week, I was away for work, and while I was in the hotel, a young 21-year-old female sat next to me and started flirting with me. Listen, I'm 40. I was really flattered by the attention. I mean, I have to admit, it was a huge ego boost to be hit on by somebody so young. I talked to her for a while, and she just kind of invites herself up to my hotel room. And we started having. For me, it was less about my wife and more about the thrill of being desired by someone other than my wife, especially someone so young. I was slightly drunk, and I figured I will probably never have the opportunity to sleep with a 21-year-old ever again.
What?
But the thrill wore off very quickly as I realized that I wasn't enjoying myself. This girl was not good in bed. She basically just laid there and starfished. Sometimes she would pull herself into what she thought was a sexy pose, but that was it. She just didn't seem interested in me at all. Sex with my wife has always been amazing. But with this girl, I felt like I could leave the room and she wouldn't even notice, let alone care. She seemed like she was using me for an ego boost. I couldn't stay aroused, and I stopped about 10 minutes into it and I asked her to leave, which she did. I took a shower and then I called my wife to hear her voice, and now I'm back home and I haven't told my wife any of it, but there's a guilty part of me that says I should because, well, she deserves to know. But then another part of me that's like, why would I torpedo our happy marriage and cause her pain for something I didn't even enjoy and will never do again? And I know I'll never cheat on her again. So should I tell her or keep it to myself? But it gets gross. There's an update. OP said that he was confused about what to do when he got home, and that his wife noticed that he was acting a little bit strange. And in a moment of weakness, while she was asking him, like, what's wrong, babe? Why are you acting so weird? He told her what had happened. And in order to prove it, he showed her the Reddit post.
Oh my god.
So I guess he genuinely thought that if the wife read this Reddit post, she would say, oh, you are telling the truth, you did stop in the middle, and you do love me. So she's now filing for divorce, and this guy has the nerve to end the Reddit update with, our connection is too strong to be destroyed by 30 minutes of poor decision making. Almost implying that his wife is unreasonable for divorcing him over 30 minutes. I don't even know which secret is the worst out of these three. Okay, maybe the first and the
What's
second.
the first? Yeah.
But then the second one was so bad. And this one is
The
just...
third one, I think, I don't know. Everything just sounds unnatural.
It's a bit crazy. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!